Another beautiful day out here, crisp morning, and yeah, I'm heading back out. Got one or two little jobs to do, but mainly I need to stow the mainsail, neaten that up, get that right, because there's apparently a massive storm coming through. So what we've got here is the calm before the storm. Got a cyclone hitting up north of us, so it's not going to whack us directly, but they're predicting just shy of 200 km/h winds. I think up in the higher 90s, 196, somewhere around there, which is just obscene. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine being stuck in that. So yeah, we're just going to get the tail end of it, but I'm still fairly nervous about that. So I'm going to do what I can about securing the sails and making sure everything's off the deck, and if possible close that hatch at the back. I've got one or two other little odd jobs to do this morning. So first of all, this is the beach. Somebody's stuff is over here, but look at all the people. It's just gorgeous, the most perfect day. And just around the corner over there is a tiny little bridge, and then on the other side of that bridge, Kate, is the first boat right in front of you. So that should be a lot shorter, a lot easier, a lot less stressful, but we'll see. All right, so I made it on board. Let's just get out of the sun. There we go. Made it on board. Good time. Not brilliant, but good time. 20 minutes. So it's not that much better, but what I didn't like is it's just a long, see right there, it's just a long slog across open water, which in good weather like today is good, but anything worse than this, and I'd rather go skipping that way in between the boats, and it at least gives you an opportunity to rest in between if you need to, you know, grab onto a mooring ball, get your breath, and then go again. So we'll see how that works. But anyway, lessons were learned. Okay, so I got distracted. I was out on the bow, and figured I'd give this chain another go, and started yanking, pulling back forward, and actually loosened up quite a bit. And yeah, what came out is not good. It's a steel chain, definitely corroded. Those two links are solidly fused. Those are fused. All of that is fused together. That's a little bit that I managed to pull out of the locker. There is, if you pull release, then you can get it out, but I mean what's coming out isn't much more promising. So it's not a shocker. I really did expect it, but you know, actually physically seeing it like this, it is a bit of a gut punch. Hey, we were prepared that everything has to be replaced, and pretty much that is the way it's turning out. All right, well, let's see what I can figure out with this mainsail. I don't have a microphone with me, so for those of you who love to listen to me talking, you know who you are, both of you. Sorry, I'm just going to put you down over here and crack on. There's a steel cable that's is tensioning the sail. Let me think. There's a steel cable that's tensioning the sail, and I can't figure out exactly where it goes to release it. So I'm just going to leave those last two. I'll quickly show you. And the wind has just come up out of nowhere. See, it's just the last two over here that needs to connect, and we've got this nice piece of steel that turns over here and then disappears somewhere in the boom, and I don't have time to sort this out now. The wind is coming up. It wasn't supposed to come up yet, but it Yeah, it definitely is. So I'm just going to wrap up this bottom part as neatly as what I can, and we just call it a day. It'll still be better than what it was. Put you down over here again. Woo! So much for no wind, eh? Then again, when the storm comes up, it's going to be a whole lot worse, and I'm going to be happy that the sail is secure. So there's that, you know. Oh, there's the first reef. I think it'll hold quite nicely. With the second and third tail whopping now, there are a few little holes, but these are the ones. Not much though. I mean, this should go quite nicely. Right, let's quickly finish up with the tail. Okay. Get you loose over here. Freedom! There we go. And sail pack nicely tied up, double reefed and tied the top, and there's a little bit that I just did now that goes up and holds the head of the sail down. And that's a Navy base with a siren going off. Ha! No, it's not, because there's the Navy base on the other side of the Warren. That's a big industrial zone, Quinana. So something went wrong at one of the refineries or factories or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's holding down the top of the sail, tied up to there from the other side. Let me get there quickly. And there's our sail pack, ready for big winds that are coming. She's properly furled. So aside from that hatch over there, I've taken everything off the deck, everything that can blow away. There's that whole lot from this side. So I've done what I can to secure this lot. Just got to get this thing closing properly, and then I think we're pretty much ready for the storm. This wind is starting to come up, so I don't know how much time I've got now to finish up inside there. Next priority before closing the hatch is bilge pump. Oh well. Anyway, let's get this thing in here. Yeah, that sloshing and wavy sounds out there making me nervous because I've got to row back and I'm not sure how that's going to look. Somebody made a mistake. These two should have been on different sides, coming up from different sides of the pipe, because now you can't get them that close to each other. Well, in theory I could if I did that. It's just inaccessible. Ah, the story of boating, eh? Always inaccessible. Oh, that's okay. Just turn it a bit this way and that should be good. Hands tight in a little bilge. Yay. Okay, that looks good. That looks solid down there. Tie these two up next. And then we can look at... where are we? Okay, tie these two up next, and then we can look at popping in a fuse. Then the question is how to test, because I don't feel like flooding the bilge just to test. It's alright, figure something out. Because, you know, flicking on the manual override is going to just tell us that the manual override works, but not going to tell us what happens when the water level rises. Although I did test that at home and that worked. Oh, that's interesting. The LED that comes on for a second, maybe it's supposed to be on a little bit more than a second. Ah, it's flashing. Sweet. So that tells us there's a fault on the fuse. Nice. Okay, that's good. I don't have time to come back again, so 5 it is. So do we have anything coming through? Yes, we do. And into the fuse itself, into the fuse housing itself without touching the fuse, which is really difficult. Yes, we do. There you go, that's not touching the fuse. So we have current going all the way through, which is perfect. I can't test at the pump itself, but up to the pump should be fine. Now the big question. From there it pumps up. I assume that this housing is going to be like a non-return type thing, and it will just flow. It won't go straight back to the strainer. It will come through and flow into this lot. Is bringing it up to so that is coming up from the bilge pump up through this housing over here, which I assume is a non-return, so it's not going to end up going back down into the sieve down there at the bottom, and it's going to go through that selector. That selector is sending it up this way where it splits. So according to this image, there's your three-way. The three-way is branching to the left. There's that first split. That first split pops it straight out and past the cockpit pump and out. It passes it past the bilge pump and out, and this way around goes past all of that. There's a starboard stopcock which is currently closed, so that's then not going to go as far as the galley or the engine pump. So if the switch is on, it should in theory spill out by the cockpit pump or the other bilge out the back, either way round. There's nothing else to open, there's nothing else to do. It should just take whichever is the easiest route, past the cockpit pump or past the bilge pump. So as long as neither of those are clogged up, that should work. Without flooding the bilge, there's no other way for me to test. So I'm just going to trust that this is going to work. That is very difficult for me. I don't like just trusting. I'll test, I will check, I will verify. But at the moment, all I can do is blindly trust that this is going to work. Well, as long as the sun shines, the battery stays topped up. The battery stays topped up. It'll work for a while, as long as there's not too much water coming in. And that's the best I can do for now. Okay, let's see if we can get that hatch closed up. Actually, what's the time? All right, that's not happening. The socket set that I thought I had packed, I didn't. And so I've got nothing to, got no shifting spanners, no spanner, no sockets. I can't work on the hatch at all. So aside from, I'm going to spray a little bit more oil in and, you know, let that do its job while we're not here. And that's about all I can do. So do that quickly. I'm not going to show that. And then pack up and hop on my kayak. Let's get out of here before this wind gets any worse. The hope over here is that some will flow down when I close the hatch. The CRC is nearly finished. Always sad when that happens. Putting far too much. I'll always clean it off later, but I want this shit to soak in all over. Get in there. See, these bunches are supposed to pull them in, but man, they can't. Okay, leave that for a few days. Well, that arrangement is a lot neater. I believe that will be a lot safer, and everything else over here is as well as I can get them. That is oiled up quite nicely. That is neat, as neat as we can get it. And well, good night, Kate. Sleep tight. Something about bed bugs. Boom. That's her. That's my ride. And that floppy sound is it busy taking waves, which doesn't again look like much on camera, but yeah, you see those little white things on the top of the waves? That tells you that this is going to be a fun ride. Anyway, Kate's looking good, all buttoned up. She'll be safe, she'll be right. Let's go home.